So let's just say 500 for groceries, just 600. That means I need 800k-ish. I don't know, too little, too much, I don't know. This is how you calculate freedom, right? Nah, of course not. Guessing is how you go broke. So we've all been there. It's Saturday, it's 2 a.m. and you've decided it's a good idea to start calculating how much you need to retire. How much monthly income do you actually need? So you take your scribbly notepad and you just start writing down. So you write down your expenses and say, okay, I need 1200 euros a month to live, just the basic necessities. So I'm going to add 300 to it, have some extra cash in case of emergency. So I write down 1500 a month. Now we want to calculate annually, so I'm going to multiply that by 12, which is 18,000. Okay, so you need 18,000 euros annually to retire. Oh, that's it, easy peasy, right? Calculate how much you need. Now let's try getting those 18,000 euros annually. Well, while that might be true for the first and maybe even the second year, after that things are going to change. Now what is going to change, you might ask? Well, things start to change in your money, meaning, for example, inflation, which is around 2% each year. And with my quick napkin math, I didn't calculate for, meaning my money gets worth less 2% each year. Well, I still have a buffer, which is nice, so maybe I'll survive 3-4 years, and after that it's getting really tight and you might have to start working again or change up some things, which is not what you want after becoming retired. So that's what you need to calculate. But how do you calculate? And is there more things that you need to consider? Well, yes, there is. For us Europeans, and especially for us Dutchies, which live in the Netherlands, we have something called box 3, which also takes up some capital gains each year, which you need to calculate for. But this is calculating if you're already fired. But what if I need 1500 a month with a 300 euro extra, but I won't be able to reach fire until in 10 years time? How will inflation be then, and how much will I need then? Those are all some calculations that you need to consider and you need to make in order to actually calculate your retirement. Well, lucky for you guys, I have a nice spreadsheet which is linked down below. You can download it for free and I'm going to show you how to fill it in, how to set it up, so you can calculate how to become fire and how much you actually need with the inflation included. Alright, so welcome to my fire dashboard. I've mentioned this dashboard once before in a previous video, but it wasn't finished yet. And now I believe it's finished. Of course, things might always change in the future, but for now it's finished. It's how I like it. You can change your own things after you download the template down below. That's up to you, but this is how I made it, how I like it, and this is I'm going to explain it to you guys how it works. So the first page is the live data tracker, which tracks stocks that you're interested in, that you have bought, whatever you prefer. So if you find the stock, all you need is the ticker symbol. So let's try reality income with ticker symbol O. I'm going to fill in ticker symbol O and have to press enter, and it's going to load reality income corporation and some data along with it, such as price, change, 52-week high, PE, industry. And then you can add the shares that you have if you already have some shares. So let's say I have 5 shares, which adds up to a value of $335. So you can change it to 10 and it adds up. If you want more information about the stock, you can also press the little house on the left side of it and it opens up some more information about the stock that you've chose. You can read through it. Which is always a nice addition to it. On the right side, I have a tracker which tracks the industries that you've bought. So the pharmaceuticals, beverages, food and tobacco, oil and gas, etc. So you have a nice overview of which industries you are in. It currently shows only the top, otherwise it gets too clouded, so you can choose your own which ones you want to track or not. The second page is the cash flow quadrant with the start. So this determines your starting position, which you're going to refer to in later pages to calculate how much you've grown. So on the left upper side, we have some assets that you can fill in. Right now, I've just filled in some blue chip stocks, which is dividends, YouTube payouts, blogs, TikToks. You can just fill in whatever your assets are and they will add up. On the right side, I have liabilities. So you can fill in your expenses, your liabilities like your mortgage, your rent, utilities, insurances, etc. Which also has a nice diagram on the right side so you can see how your liabilities are distributed. So you can see if you can cut any liabilities to cut down cost and increase your cash flow. Then on the left lower side, we have your income, things like your main job, side job, assets, internships, you name it, just income that you have. And it also includes assets for a total. So this is your total cash flow that you're receiving. This is your jobs and assets combined. Same with expenses. There's also extra expenses, including your liabilities, which add up to your total expenses. So you can calculate how much your total expenses are, and it shows your current cash flow. In this example, it's minus 880. So let's say I have another side job which pays 1,500 a month. You see that the cash flow turns green with a positive cash flow of 619. So you can fill it in and it updates automatically, so you can see where you're at right now. Then next page is your cash flow current, which shows your current position, so you can see how much you've grown. The four pages are the same, so assets, liabilities, income, and expenses. Same liability chart. But now you see your current cash flow and your total cash flow change, so how much you've grown. So in this example, the cash flow quadrant improved with 407.95 euros, which is quite a nice increase. And in this case, this is an example, a real life example of my cash flow quadrant right now. I still have a house that needs to be sold, which is a huge liability for me at the moment. So I've added a thing that expenses after the house is sold, and this is the amount I need monthly to become FIRE in 10 years. Now, why do I say 10 years? I think I need 10 years, and so is the calculation based. It just shows how much expenses I have after the house is sold, which is 1,800 euros a month. I add the inflation and then multiply it by 10 years, and I'm going to add 500. Now, why 500, you might ask? I want to keep investing, even though if I retire, I want to keep growing my portfolio so I have more to spend each month. And if something crazy happens, a huge inflation, whatever, then I'm prepared for it. And you can change it, of course, if you don't want to. You can take it away, lower it, increase it. Or if you're like, I'm going to retire in 15 years, you can just add it to 15 years. Okay, that was not what I was supposed to do. So it's, for me, in 10 years, the amount I need each month to retire is 2,724 euros. Now, if I change it to, let's say, 15 years, accounting inflation, I will need 2,900. So you can change, you can play with it however you like. Then I have a nice chart that shows the cash flow change that I have. You can add in that maybe today, 28th of February, that you have got your rent in half, you found a roommate, and you're going to add it in here, and it's going to show up in the changes. So it shows the changes that you made, and it's going to adjust your cash flow. So you can keep track of your cash flow, which is quite nice. Then I have the total dividends. For now, I've added 2 years. You can just copy paste it on the right side below, whatever you prefer. Just change the year and then you're done, which shows each month, each day, and then you can add how much dividends you received and it will add up. So how much did I get on the 2nd overall, and how much did I get overall on February. So you can keep track of your dividends and when they pay out. And then I have the fire date in the end, monthly income to become fire, which is 2,724, which is calculated in this chart. So if I'm going to change it, let's say I'm going to add 1,000 each month, it's going to change to 3,200, and it changes over here as well. So it adjusts everywhere where it needs to be adjusted. Quickly change this back to what I like. And each month is going to calculate, did we receive that month as fire, yes or no? And if I would be fire, so let's say in March, I get a huge payout. March, I get on the 30th one, I get 3,000. And I go to fire date and it is true. So that's how you can see whether or not you have achieved your fire status in that month. Of course, you want to achieve it through an entire year, so keep track of that. But it's nice to see that first time that you hit your goal. And this is the dashboard in a nutshell. The template down below, I will delete all my data so you can just fill it in from scratch. If you're confused on how to do it, rewatch the video and then see what you need to do. If you have any further questions or you're still stuck or want to add a feature but don't know how, please let me know down in the comments and I will just try to help you out, and we might be able to fix it together. And who knows, maybe you have such a good idea that I'm going to add it myself. So please let me know. That was it. Thank you all for watching and hope you have a nice day. See you next time.